Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today with an overview of Mizuno's new race shoes, unboxing of all the new race shoes, and a first run review of the Hyperwarp Elite. So this is the one that I personally was most excited about. It's the middle option, $275. It has two foams, dual foam, and it goes head to head with the Metaspeed shoes. So if you are interested in testing race shoes and getting new race shoes, or saving money on race shoes, you are in the right place. And an even better place will be the Supwell app. So Supwell app is my app, and it's the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace out there, and it's the best place to find deals on running shoes. Here's how it works. Somebody might get a shoe like the Metaspeed Sky Paris or the Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, put a run in it, it doesn't work for them, so they list it on the app well below MSRP and pass along a deal to another hobby jogger. And we also have the best gosh dang hobby jogger community out there, people getting active, putting in the work daily. So if you want to save a few bucks on shoes or be part of the best group of people putting in work, get in with us and enjoy today's video. This is a fun one. So I got early access to these Mizuno shoes. Now take a look at this. 3 Mizuno race shoes. We have the Hyperwarp Pure, the Hyperwarp Pro, and then up here the Hyperwarp Elite. 3 new Mizuno race shoes. I'll do an overview of all of them, but tomorrow I have a long run, 18 miles at a nice steady faster clip, so I'm really excited to take one of these out. I think the Pure is the low stack one, so I'm either going to go Elite or Pro for that. I'm like a kid at Christmas with these new carbons, so let's take a look. I mean, dude, look at this. So the Elite, the Pro, and the Pure. So let's take a look at the specs of these before we even do the unboxing, because the Pure is the lower stack one, the Elite and the Pro are the higher stack one. So, okay, look at this. I was DMing with the Mizuno, lovely folks over at Mizuno who sent this to me. So the Pure, $300. This is the Metaspeed Ray competitor, 137 grams. This would be in the sample size, 30.5 in the forefoot with 34 in the heel. Then we have the Elite. This is a dual foam TPEE base layer with the PIBA up at the top, 275. This one is in the middle for weight, 165 grams. You have 38 in the heel, 34.5 in the forefoot. And then the Pro, this seems like the slowest one, if you will. It's dual, or it's 2 types of TPEE. No, sorry, it's 1 type of TPEE, but the highest stack, 39 heel, 33.5 forefoot. This is likely going to be the most stable one because they say rebound and support. This says balance, lightweight, cushion, and responsive. So Elite, I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then next week, I have a slower long run, so I'll do the Pro. So let's see. Is this the Elite? Yep. This is the one for tomorrow. All right, I'm excited. Bada boom, bada bang. Ooh, bada bop. Look at this, man. This is a banger colorway, too. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. The blue with the yellow. Dude, this is a good look. Hyperwarp Elite. Man, this is a good look. And I think some of these have leaked in all white. But this is nice, man. You get the yellow. It's almost a tennis ball yellow with the royal blue. Let's see if they're all the same color. So I am going to take out this one. And I'll also take out the Pro because I just want to see the differences. So the Hyperwarp Elite, let's look at the specs one more time here. So the Elite has PIBA on the top and TPEE on the bottom. So this is dual foam, softer on the top, firmer on the bottom. Honestly, this feels the same to me. Hyperwarp Elite. All right, let's see the Pro. Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. Looks very similar. Oh my goodness, this looks very similar. So yeah, this is definitely a Metaspeed Sky and Edge situation. And I've got to say, man, these foams feel super different. The foam on the Pro feels super different than the Elite. And so one thing I'm noticing with comparing the Pro here to the Elite is that, so the Pro feels heavier. This feels more similar to that Wave Rebellion Pro 2 and Pro 3, and it has the Pro in the name. Feels slightly heavier, and also has that more aggressive heel bevel look. It has that cut in the back. The Elite, less of that heel bevel, flatter profile. So look, Elite right here, Pro right here. Is this the Sky and this the Edge? I don't know. Let's see. And so this is supposed to be more stable and supportive, but then it also has the heel bevel. I don't know. This is going to be a fun test. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to take this out. This is the lighter weight one. Looks like it has a nice rocker. I'm going to take this one out for some miles, take it out for a long run, and we can report back. Why don't we do a quick weigh-in here with these two? So Elite on the scale, we can get weigh-in and specs. Putting the Elite on the scale, we have, dang, that is light, 184 grams. That's very similar and very close to the Fast R3. I think that's actually slightly lighter than the Fast R3. So 184 in the Elite, and then in the Pro, this feels heavier. I can just feel it. Yeah, 213. So that's why they're saying more supportive and more stable, that additional weight that you're getting right here. And should we take out the Pure while we're at it, just so we can get all of our stats and specs while we have these guys? Why don't we do that? Man, these are some lookers. It's cool to get all these shoes. All right, ready? Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. Woo! So this is the Pure. This is the lowest stack one. This is also the $300 one. Man, this feels super light. This feels like the ASICS Metaspeed Ray. Let's put this guy on the scale. Yeah, dude. Ooh, 150 grams in the Pure. That is super light. We got to get some specs though, or some stack checks on this, because it could be that it's so much lower, and it is based on what they sent over. They said that this one was only 33 in the heel, but still super light, man. If you compare it to the Metaspeed Ray, I can get that real quick. Yeah, so for some context here, we have Puma Fast R3, 189. So these new ASIC shoes, or at least the Elite, is undercutting this by 5 grams, slightly lighter than the Fast R3. And then Metaspeed Ray is the lightest weight racing shoe on the market. Man, getting very close. Wow, 141 grams versus 150 grams in the new Mizuno. Thing with the new Mizuno, though, a lot less foam. I mean, look what ASICS has done. ASICS did the thing where they stuffed more foam in the heel or in the midfoot to allow for it to still be below 40 millimeters in the heel, versus in the Pure, where is it? Right here. It looks lower. Yeah, it looks lower. But, man, these new foams, look at that. A little squish test on the new Mizuno. This looks like it's going to be a little something. New supercritical TPEE. And it looks like it's going to be something. I like this design, too. It looks very prototypey with the pure white and then with this paint. And this is a cool combo, too. The tennis yellow paint into the royal blue with the blue glitter. It's a good look, man. It's a good look. All right, let's do a stack check. Actually, hold on. Let's do a quick QA check on these puppies. So Hyperwarp Elite QA check. 184 on the left and 186 on the right. I'll do the others QA checks. Hyperwarp Pro, 213 on the left and 214 on the right. Nice job on those. And then let's get the Pure here, the lightest weight one. The Pure is coming in at 150 on the left. And 151 on the right. Nice job with the QA. All right, let's hit him with the stack check. It's nice to have all these shoes early for sure, but it's a slight logistical challenge with having 3 shoes that I need to test and doing the daily videos. And the other thing is it's Mizuno, so I'm spending all this extra time, and who knows if anyone's going to watch it, because unfortunately people don't like Mizuno. But I like Mizuno. And shout out to Mizuno, because what's 300 plus 275? That's 575 plus 250. Is that 825? That's 825 plus shipping and taxes. So they just gave me nearly a rack's worth of free shoes. Shout out Mizuno putting in work. All right. On the Hyperwarp Pure, 34 millimeters in the back, 33.8. And yeah, the thing about the free shoes is I did accept these. I'm going to start accepting some shoes again. I mean, buying shoes is one of my biggest expenses. And I don't know. It's just Charlie's been wanting me to do it. A lot of the audience has been wanting me to do it. It's allowed me to have this opportunity to test all these shoes early, which is a huge competitive advantage. And I know the Mizuno isn't the most hype brand, but if I could get other stuff early, then it's just lets me compete better. So I don't know. It'll be a case-by-case basis, but I did decide to accept these. And Mizuno is a great brand because, man, even when I was bashing the Neo Vista OG, which I hated, they were reaching out and saying, you know what, thanks for giving us an honest review. We're going to have some stuff coming next year that we think you'll like. And guess what? They were right. And a lot of the brands who have designers who actually care and are invested in it, they say the same thing, man. Give us your toughest reviews. We don't want you to be soft on us because we want to get better and we want to compete. So shout out Mizuno and all the other brands who are doing that. So 34 in the back. I'm thinking for me, the Pure would be more of a 5K or 10K shoe or even an interval workout shoe. I'm not sure if I would really race in it. I like an aggressive feel, and I'm not sure if the Pure is going to be giving me that. I think the Elite is going to be the sweet spot for me with around that Sky Tokyo Fast R3 weight and 100% of that TPEE foam. I think that's going to be... No, it's not the TPE. It's a PIBA and TPEE combo. It's the dual foam, right? Hold on, man. This is the thing with these new shoes. Now I'm just getting confused. Elite? Yeah, Elite dual foam. XP PIBA top, and then XP TPEE bottom. Okay. Same thought process as the Neo Vista 2. Energetic foam on top for cushion and rebound. Structured foam underneath for additional control. So that's the classic Boston 13, Boston 12 setup where you have soft and bouncy up top and slightly firmer below. I got to stop confusing myself, okay? All right, so this one comes in at 37 or 38 in the back. Let's hit that one more time. Yeah, right around 37 in the back of the Elite, and it is a lower drop, so you get more foam up in the forefoot than you might in another shoe. It's not an 8mm drop, it's a 3.5mm drop. So you're still getting about 35 millimeters of foam right up here with a nice rocker. So flatter profile. We'll see how that does for landing up at the front here. Now, last one, we need to get the specs on here. Let's throw the Pro underneath the scale. Or the stack check. Stackerator. This is not the scale. This one seems to be the highest. It's also the heaviest. Yeah. So this is the one that's retaining the spirit of the Wave Rebellion Pro. 46.4 millimeters. So there you go. What they've done here is they've done an update. This is what I'm thinking. Update to the Wave Rebellion Pro with the Hyperwarp Pro. They've introduced a lightweight Ray and Evo Pro competitor in here, although it is a lot lower stack than the Ray. We'll see how the foam stands up when we put some pace and mileage in it. And then they have their new premier marathon racing shoe. The Hyperwarp Elite is the one that I think is going to be the best contender for me with the Fast R3 and Sky Tokyos of the world. So with that, it's time to get some mileage in these. I don't know yet exactly how I'm going to sequence this out and do it. It's going to be a fun new challenge for me because it is currently November. Can you see this? It is November 22nd. I have 10 days, 11 days until the embargo lifts. Embargo lifts on December 2nd, so I have no idea yet exactly how I'm going to do it, but it'll be a fun challenge. Tomorrow I am going to do the long run, and this, I think I'm going to do some sort of a list video, best long run shoes of the year, so I'll probably have some more list videos on the days that I test these things, and it'll be fun. I'm really excited, man. I was really excited to take these out of the box, and I'm excited to get some big workouts in them and see how they stack up to the new stuff. I've loved the Mizuno releases this year. Neo Zen, that was a banger, top of the year. Neo Vista 2, that was one of my top max cushion shoes of the year. Their race shoe was really good. So they've just been really innovating and pushing it. Them and Puma and Asics are probably top 3 brands right now when it comes to actual innovation and development. So I'm hoping that Mizuno will now be in the conversation in a real way in the race shoe category with at least one of these new shoes, if not 2. So that is all I have for you today with this part. I will see you tomorrow or whatever else for future videos. We'll see. We'll see how this shakes out. I appreciate you. Lacing up the Mizuno Hyperwarp Elite. Let's go, man. I'm excited about these. Oh, you know what I'm noticing here? First thing, the laces, dude. They have the Sawtooth Supwell certified laces. Man, I love when brands do this. They put the full attention to detail. Sawtooth laces, no gimmicks on the upper. They have a tongue that's near identical to the Asics Metaspeed tongues. Also, made in Vietnam. So they're going to the highest quality factories in the world. Incredible. All right. First step in here. Ooh, man. That is a very flat drop. So that's the whole thing with this shoe and the other shoe. All these Mizuno race shoes, the drops are much lower. So this has a very flat profile. You have a ton of foam under the forefoot here. And this almost reminds me of the Sky Paris, man, with how it feels underfoot. Similar narrowness, very similar aggression in the front and plate, except way softer than the Sky Paris. Way softer. And I think the heel might be... No, the heel is very narrow. Wow, this one feels like it's going to be super unstable. It should be fine for me, but I think if you have any sort of stability issues, you might want to go with the other one. Holy cow, yeah. It's very narrow and soft in the back. Look at this. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's wobbly back there. So this is going to be the pace one for sure. The other one is the full TPEE, which is firmer. So this is the thing. They now have 2 race foams. They have a soft PIBA and they have a firmer TPEE. The interesting thing is that the soft PIBA, or the PIBA in general, is the new one. And I know brands, we all know, right? Brands are moving from PIBA to TPEE in TPU, but they're introducing a new PIBA, which I think is super interesting here. So the Pure is 100% of the new PIBA. This one has the new PIBA on top and the firmer, older stuff on the bottom. And then the Pro, which is the revision of the current Wave Rebellion Pro, that one is 100% of the firmer stuff. So, yeah, on foot here. Man, nice soft step and feel. This is definitely the softest Mizuno race shoe that they've ever created. I mean, the Pure will probably be softer than this, but this is way softer than the current gen race shoes. Softer than the Wave Rebellion Pro Low. So I guess this would be the update to the Pro Low. And I've got to say, man, this feels so nice. This foam under the forefoot, and you're getting a lot of foam here. It does have a weird negative drop feel, though. So again, look at this. Especially with how soft the foam is in the back. You can see it compresses all the way. And then it has this aggressive rocker and toe spring. So my toes are literally above my heel. In a shoe like the Vomero Plus or the Mag Max, you'd have an 8 to 10 millimeter drop. You'd have more foam back here, so it would be like this, right? With this one, my toes are above the forefoot, which is kind of odd. We'll see how it does once we get it going, and hopefully we're just landing up at the front here. But it almost feels a bit like the Edge Paris that had this feeling to the flat with the rocker up at the front. Anyway, let's do a walk test. Man, the fit, feel, laces, upper, weight, foams, plate positions, heel geometry, it all feels like a Metaspeed shoe, man. This very much feels like Mizuno is coming for ASIC's jugular. The thing is, there's nothing that I hate more than a copycat, and historically, Mizuno has not been that, man. They have been pushing the boundaries of innovation. However, the OG Neo Vista, man, that was a shoe that really did not sit right with me because it seemed like they said we just need a max cushion shoe and we need something with the plastic plate, so let's come up with the Neo Vista. I hated it, and it was very much a copycat shoe that did not do anything different. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case with this, but I do have to say it feels very much like the ASIC shoes are what they're benchmarking. It doesn't feel like something completely new and different, but the weight is competitive. Right, these foams feel nice. We'll just have to see how it runs. I do think the question mark here is this is $275. So why would somebody go for this over one of the more tried and true options in the Metaspeed Edge or Metaspeed Sky? And this is not a head-to-head video, but on these first run reviews, I do answer the question, how does it compare to the category? And man, it is so clear that they are going for those ASIC shoes with this. So hopefully that's a question we can answer today, at least get some initial thoughts. I mean, most of these race shoes are not bad. I highly doubt this will be bad. We did this race foam tier for Instagram. We had to stop at a tier C. We didn't do D, E, or F because there's no truly bad race foams out there, and there's very few truly bad race shoes other than the On Cloud Boom Max. So this likely will be pretty good. We'll just see. Can it crack into that top tier? And this is going to be a heck of a good run to figure that out. We're doing a 20-mile long run with a nice, steady 18-mile tempo in the middle. Let's do this thing. All right, let's get it, man. Very Metaspeed-ish. This also feels a lot lower to the ground than I expected. A really good snap on the front here. This almost feels like a modern racing flat though. That's how flat the bottom is. Man, really good snap off the front.
This is aggressive, man. It's got a lot of bite and snap on the front. This feels more aggressive than I thought. It's both lower and firmer than I anticipated. A super quick feel. Doing some strides here. The toe off very much feels like the sky. The high and wide plate. Yeah, my main question with this is, it is speedy, but almost feels like a half marathon shoe. So we'll just see as I get into this how it holds up. But man, that aggression really coming through here. All right, see you at the end of the run.
All right, man, finish the 20 piece. This is a heck of a shoe. This is a heck of a shoe. Now, sometimes running shoe reviewers sound like Rice Krispies salesmen, right? We're talking about snap, crackle, pop. But there's a few different ways that we can describe speed shoes and a few different types of speed shoes. Now, I've talked about the cruisers versus the bruisers and the losers. This is most definitely not a loser, but the cruisers and the bruisers. Cruisers are more about smooth. They're more about bounce. They're flowy. They have more cushion. The bruisers are about the snap. That's the Rice Krispies, right? The snap, crackle, pop. This one has a ton of snap, man. That's what I'm getting off the forefoot. You get a really stiff carbon fiber plate, a firmer feeling forefoot. And if you look at this from the top, man, I am telling you, this is the exact plate as the Sky Paris, where you have that forefoot bulge right here. It's the Sky Paris thing, and it's the Alpha Fly thing, where you have this wide plate closer up to the forefoot. I don't know exactly where the plate is, but yeah, right here where you can push off through the big toe. And Clayton Young actually has this cue that he tells himself, pronate through the big toe. You want to drive power and push off through this wide platform. So that's what this shoe is doing. It is 100% a bruiser type of shoe where it has a lot of snap, firmness, stiffness up in the front. This is a shoe that wants you to get up off the forefoot and really dig in and drive. And I've got to say, man, this is one heck of a speed shoe. It's not perfect, especially for a 20 piece like today, because I was out there for, 2 hours and change, right? Out there moving for 20 miles, and it's not the most protective. It didn't feel the softest and the most cushioned going down the hill, but if we look at the Mizuno lineup, that's not what they're trying to do with this. This one feels super speedy, and I'm guessing this is a lot firmer feeling than the Pure. So, man, great shoe. Let's go break it down. Bang! A6 Metaspeed Mizuno Hyperwarp Elite. Now this thing straight up looks like an A6 Metaspeed shoe, man. It looks like the Edge of the Sky, and it really does run like one of those Metaspeed shoes, man. It has that firmness in the front, it has that snap, it has the roll, and it has the density to it, especially of the last gen FF Turbo. It's almost like if you took the Edge Tokyo and combined it with the Sky, or Edge Paris and combined it with the Sky Tokyo, because it has the plate position, the plate feel up front, that wider plate of the Sky, and then it has the roll of the Edge. So it's a great shoe. This morning, what I did, 20-mile long run, moving, nice tempo effort, getting the heart rate up, putting down some pace. I wanted to test this on a longer run, see if this could be a marathon shoe potentially for me, or a race shoe for me. And of course, Mizuno sent these and they're brand new, so we had to take them out for something fun. So let's go through those 3 questions that I always ask and answer on the first run review. So first, how does this compare to its intended purpose? Now, what is the intended purpose of the Elite versus the Pro and the Pure? Pure is designed to be the lightest weight, lowest to the ground, the Ray competitor. It's stripped down, streamlined. The Pro, that's more of the Wave Rebellion replacement, higher stack, and I'm really curious to see how that compares to this, because in the past, the Pro has been extremely propulsive and bouncy. This had a little bit more of that workman-like character, but this is supposed to be the balanced option, not super soft, and also not as firm and aggressive, not as high stack and not as heavy as the Pro. So it strikes a nice balance. It really feels like one of those A6 shoes with the plate, with the foam, and I've got to say, very much a Goldilocks zone foam experience. However, with the direction the market is going with the Adios Pro 4 and Saucony Endorphin Elite and a lot of these softer shoes, I have to say, this does not feel like a very soft shoe, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing for you. For me, this is not a bad thing at all. I don't like super soft race shoes. My last marathon, I ran in the Fast R3. I've actually done my last 3 races in the Fast R3, all my races this year. Last year, I raced in the Endorphin Elite. Before that, I raced in the Sky Paris. I'm trying to think before that. I raced in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. So I've never been a fan of super soft race shoes. I guess the softest shoe I've ever raced in was probably the Vaporfly 3, and I didn't love it. That's actually the one time I was in a race and I could feel my shoe not being optimal, because usually when I'm in a race, no matter what I'm wearing, I'm just focusing on running hard. But with the Vaporfly 3, I could feel that was too soft. That was not a problem here. There's no gumminess, there's no fighting against the foam. Really nice roll and just enough protection, balanced with that quicker fleet on foot feel. However, downsides of this and what it's designed to do, and why I'm really excited to try the Pro versus this, I'll probably take the Pro for my long run next weekend, is going down the hills, especially at the end here. I was bombing the downhill, and you can see I wear on the heels pretty hard, and we do have a lot of hills over here, so I'm heel striking down the hills. Did not feel the most protective in the back. So if you're going for a hilly marathon, or you really mash down the hill and you want some protection, I'm not sure if this is going to be the best option. Also, very similar to the Edge in the Sky, for people who are spending a longer time on their feet, 3.5 hours or more, specifically for the marathon, not sure if this is going to be the best option. I'm guessing the Pro might have more of that protection and long run capability. But for today, I went just about 2 hours moving at a nice higher zone 3 effort. It felt really nice, man. It's very capable of picking up the pace, and it almost felt like it wanted me to go faster, down to marathon pace, half marathon pace. So it's a very quick and speedy shoe, almost like a beefed up Vaporfly. If you could take the Vaporfly and combine it with the Edge, or if you take the Edge and combined it with the Sky, it's right in that camp of lightweight speed with the aggression and the snap, but not being
too harsh. So intended purpose, designed to be a balanced race option, does a nice job. Now, if we compare it to the other shoes on the market, again, with the direction that the market is going, with the higher stack options we have out there, like the Cielo, the softer options like the Endorphin Elite 2, even the OG Alpha Fly 3, it's not an OG, it's not the first Alpha Fly, but it feels like an OG at this point. Even compared to the Alpha Fly 3, this does feel lower. That was my first initial take of this when I was warming up here. It feels very lean and mean. It feels low to the ground. They say that the forefoot is 30 millimeters, and they're not lying or anything. It looks like 30 millimeters, it feels like 30 millimeters, but 30 millimeters of a soft foam, especially as I'm really digging in here, is not the most protective, and it's not the most cushioned. So that's just something to keep in mind. But when we're looking at the race shoe category, again, for me, my favorite shoes are not the ones that feel the most protective and the softest. Adios Pro 4, for example, very popular shoe, but not my absolute favorite because it just feels too mushy. So again, trade-offs. You have to think about what are those qualities that you want out of a race shoe. Do you want it to be the most protective, the most stable, and the most comfortable, or do you want to trade off, sacrifice some of that comfort, some of that cushion and protection for speed, for control, for nimbleness? Now, for me, where my fitness is right now, I go for the speed, especially when I'm doing the shorter distances, 5K, 10K, half marathon. For the marathon, I've had this question, right? Is the Fast R3 too aggressive for a marathon? But no, that's the shoe that I've just been rocking with. The Fast R3, it's gonna be really hard for anything to dethrone that for me personally. So it's not as aggressive as the Fast R3, but if we compare this to something like the Adios Pro 4 or the Deviate Nitro Elite 3 in terms of the aggression, I think it's closer in to the Fast R3 with the forefoot experience, with that slight firmness, and with how much just snap and stiffness and rigidity you're getting. And then if we compare it to the Sky Paris even, I do think it's slightly firmer than that. Now, I haven't run the Sky Paris since early or mid-September, so about 2 months now. I had a bad workout when I was going through that tough training period before my last marathon, and then I just haven't run it. It's one of those things where you get in a bad groove with the shoe. Maybe I'll pick up the green pair of those, just refresh my Sky Paris so I can test it against some of the newer releases. But to my memory, this is a touch firmer than the Sky Paris, because the Sky Paris has that very soft FF Leap on the bottom. It's never felt too soft or mushy, but it just does have a more compliant feel to it. With this, it's more about the snap. Sky Paris, feel like, am I saying Paris? I meant Tokyo, the newest Sky. More of that compression, right? More of that squish and release. And again, with the Sky, I do think you're getting a more protective heel in the Sky versus this. This does feel just pretty lean and mean, and also very flat. So that's the thing, if you're a heel striker or if you're used to a lot of cushion in the heel, this is not one of those higher drop shoes. Something like the SC Elite V5 or the Deviate Nitro Elite 3, that's gonna be better if you really want a lot of cushion and protection in the heel. SC Elite V5 for soft, Deviate Nitro Elite 3 for slightly firm. This is really midfoot, forefoot, giving you that snap and aggression. Now, question number 3, how does it compare to everything else on the market? Most certainly a speedy race shoe. So I have these 3 shoes, and what's the date? It's November 23rd. I have 10 days. It's gonna be hard for me to put all of them through all the tests I want to. Bless me. It's like Quinnen Williams. Remember Quinnen Williams? He's on the Cowboys now. He blessed himself on live TV. It's gonna be hard for me to put this through another run. I don't think I'm gonna be able to before this video comes out and before the embargo releases. So this is what we're getting for now, but I feel that this would likely be optimal for me. If I'm comparing it to all the other race shoes and speed options out there, this would likely be optimal for me at a slightly faster pace. I think this would be nice for a threshold workout, half marathon pace workout, or even a 5K race. It just feels like it really had some horsepower and wanted me to get it going. I was in the 6s today, so not at my race paces, more a nice steady effort. It's not a jog or anything, but I felt that when I was trying to surge to pick up the pace or just go up a hill or something, it was really responding well to that. I think this firmer, denser foam on the bottom is gonna come alive with more pace. So firmer race shoe, lots of speed. The question mark for me comes in with the price point. Mizuno's always been a value-oriented brand. I've compared them to Mazda
And Mazda was the first car I ever bought, a CX-5. And you're getting an Audi level interior, an Audi level handling. The engine isn't as big. You don't have as much power as a luxury car, but an Audi level interior for a Honda price point. That's what you get out of a Mazda. And similarly, Mizuno has always been, hey, we're going to give you the best possible quality, the most technologically advanced foams. And there's not even an Audi comparison here because Mizuno just has the best. It's not like Nike's coming out with better training foams or any other brand is. Asics and Puma this year have started to do that, but Mizuno has given us the best technology. For example, Neo Zen at $150. The Mizuno, Wave Rebellion Low at $230, right? So they've always done this. Even the Wave Rebellion Pro 3, one of the most advanced, craziest, wackiest race shoes at $250. Meanwhile, all these other brands, when they do the advanced race shoes, they put them at $300. This is $275. So for me, I think it's a bit of a question mark with the price point. Do I go this or do I go Sky or Edge? If I'm a consumer making that decision, it's just hard because the Sky and the Edge are the tried and true ones. I got to put this through some more workouts and maybe a head-to-head with the Sky, because I think that's the main question mark to me. Is this better than the Sky at the same price? Yeah, it's $5 more expensive, but roughly the same price. Is this better than the Sky? It's close. It's neck and neck. This, to me, has a slightly firmer, lower to the ground feel, maybe better for a different person. I think the upper is a lot better than the Sky. That's the thing with the Metaspeed shoes. The uppers have always been kind of weird on them. Fit and feel on this was fantastic, by the way. No rubbing, great upper, nice comfort. I didn't have any issues with it feeling weird or just hot spots or anything. So fantastic. And yeah, really nothing wrong with it. And that's a great thing about one of these shoes as well, because I felt in the past with the Sky and the Edge, that one in particular, something about the geometry of it just, it doesn't work with my foot, and there's just some weirdness going on with how I land in the plate and the edge at jogging paces. Doesn't feel great to me. I've heard other people saying that as well. I think it has to do with the stiffness of the foam in the heel combined with the awkward angle of the plate in the midfoot, at least for me. And I'm not saying the Edge is a bad shoe. It's a fantastic shoe. Just something about it slightly off. Sky, the upper with my foot just sliding around, and I highlighted it in basically every video I did with the Sky. I was having trouble with that upper. Laces were coming untied and my foot was in a weird position. Today, first run, absolutely no issues with this at all. I didn't have to do a retie. It felt great on foot for the entirety of the run. Stability was solid. Now, again, I was moving in the 6s today. So I think if you're more of 8-minute paces, 9-minute paces, landing more on the heel, you could have some stability trouble with this because it did feel fairly narrow in the back. I will compare it to the Sky, but I think it's probably 3 to 4 millimeters wider than the Sky, but still pretty narrow back here. So yeah, first run, this is a big thumbs up. I'm gonna give this an A. I'm excited to test this more against some other shoes. It's a highly proficient tool for speed, capable of going long. And I took this for a 20-mile long run today, and I'm saying I think this could be a great 5K shoe, 10K shoe. So maybe one of the most versatile shoes out there in the racing segment when it comes to that, because if we think of some of the other favorites, something like the Fast R3, that's gonna be limited to half marathon distance and below for a lot of people. Just a punishing shoe once you get past 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Something like Alpha Fly, some people don't love it for going fast, for really digging in. And I've actually heard some people, even Meredith has said the Alpha Fly 3 feels clunky now. This one does a really nice job flexing, at least it seems, and felt great today for all the stuff I was doing. So stay tuned for more testing. This is a really nice one. I'm gonna give it an A. We'll see if it can elevate to an A+. We'll see if it can knock off the Sky maybe, or at least compete in that same bracket. So that is all I have for you today. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.